So Sarah, what do we get today? Expansions! So what's this one offer us?
This one offers the ability to add 5 and 6 players to the base game, Isle of Cats. And then it also adds some new components, as well as some new cards. And I don't know a ton about what everything that's in here, but I do know, like I said, it has all the components to add up to 2 more players. And then it does seem to have some stuff that even if it was just Nick and I playing, we could still add to our game.
Awesome.
So, yeah, I'm excited.
Can't wait to crack it open.
We kickstarted the Isle of Cats, and we just went with like the base pledge. We did the upgrades for we paid a little bit extra for one of the upgrades, I think, but other than that, we like just stuck with the base pledge. We didn't get like the 5-6 player expansion or anything like that, because we thought we were gonna like it, but we weren't entirely sure, and we didn't want to go all in on something that we weren't really sure if it was going to be worth it to us to do it. So we didn't go all in, and we didn't have any like regrets by not doing that after the fact, because we made that decision on the information we had at the time. So no regrets, but I'm glad that we were able to after the fact sort of upgrade to a full-on like everything type pledge, even though we bought this from the local game store.
Yeah, can't wait. This is gonna be fun. We're about to pop it open and see what we got going on. So yeah, more to come. All right, Sarah. So what are we doing now?
We are, excuse me, we are learning steamrollers from Stronghold Games.
What led you to pick this one?
I worked with Stronghold Games to help them run demonstrations at PAX Unplugged in 2019.
Nice.
And this was one of my like little rewards for helping them with their booth at PAX Unplugged. I got to pick some games from their lineup, and I honestly didn't have like a lot that I wanted. So I was just kind of like looking for ones that I thought might be interesting, and I found this one, and so I got this one, and we've had it since, and like so many of our other games, it's just sat on the shelf for a little while, but we're gonna bust it out, we're gonna figure it out, and we're gonna dominate.
Sweet. How many games are we gonna play tonight?
All of them.
All of them.
All 800 and something games in this room.
Gotta play all the games, because what can't you do with all these games? Alright, we'll check in later with you guys. Bye. Alright, so me and Sarah just finished Steamrollers by Stonemeyer. And
by Stronghold.
Stronghold, sorry. Oops. Oopsie daisy. And it's
pretty dry.
Pretty dry, yeah.
It's a rolling right. There was a bunch of optional content that we did not play with because this was our first game, and we were talking about like we wonder how much that changes things, and I'm curious about that, but I'm not curious enough to try again with all that stuff included because this was pretty dry. I was telling Nick before he turned the camera on, I feel like there were some interesting decisions, but they weren't so interesting that it made me want to play again. It's pretty dry.
Yeah, it's just we tried it. Another game off our list. This is one of those things we're trying to do with not buying games. We're just trying to get games that we already have and see if we like them, and if we don't, we move on. And so I don't know what her thoughts are, but my thoughts are kind of, I'm good. We can pass on. We can pass this on to somebody else that might like this, or
like I said, I'm interested to know like how the optional content changes things up, but I'm not curious enough to try again playing with the like content we left out this time. So I think it's fine if we pass it on.
Yeah, me too. All right, until next game. Bye. All right, buddy. Well, we're moving on from board games, and it's like midnight tonight. And yeah, let's go see what we're gonna go do next. All right. Turn off the light. Sarah's playing old music, and we're gonna go play some video games, some pixel junk monsters. Uh huh. Dance, girl, dance. Oh boy. All right. Well, we're gonna play some pixel junk now. Talk to you guys later. Until our next game. So Sarah, what are we playing now?
We are looking at all of the new content from the Isle of Cats late arrivals.
Yes, what we just didn't do in the Kickstarter.
Yeah, we didn't. When we backed the Kickstarter for Isle of Cats, we just backed the base game, and we didn't back the late arrivals part, which is the 5-6 player expansion. It also has some content if you're playing with fewer than 5 or 6 players. And when we backed on Kickstarter, we weren't really sure if we were going to like the game, or we didn't really know much about the company or the creators or things like that. So we just went with like the minimum pledge, and we've got it. We love it. We think the people ran a fantastic campaign and produced an excellent game, not just in quality, but also in like the gameplay. It's a fantastic game. We've really, really been enjoying it. So we saw this at our friendly local game store the other day. It's the first time I've been out in months, and we just dropped by our friendly local game store for a few minutes. And they're doing like curbside pickup, and you can come in and browse, but we can't play there, obviously. But yeah, it was sad. But the store looks good. They pushed all of the play space, like all the tables and chairs in the play space out, and then they arranged the shelves so that there's more room to browse without being close to other shoppers. Not that there's many people in there right now, but it was nice. The store looked good. It was really clean, and the store looked good, and it was nice to get to be there, even if it was not to be able to play. Hopefully someday soon, or eventually, or whatever, we can be there to play and to be with friends again and things like that. But anyway, I was going a little stir crazy in the house, so we decided we'd get out for a little while, and we went and just browsed around the store for just a few minutes, and we were wearing our masks and being safe, but we saw this on the shelf, and we have sort of a moratorium on buying new games this year, but we felt like with this one, there was a chance that if we let it slip away, we wouldn't be able to acquire it again in the future, and because we're enjoying the base game so very much, we wanted to make sure that this one didn't get away from us. So we've got it. We're looking at everything new in the game. There are player boards, not player boards. There are more cats. So this is a polynomino placement game featuring these adorable little cats. So the expansion comes with a bunch of new cats. Nick's already punched some of them. So a bunch of new cat tiles. There are also new treasures and a few other new pieces. And then there's a bunch of new cards, which will facilitate play for 5 and 6 players, along with these additional player boards here.
And the player boards have what's the hammerhead
new
shark
animals.
And hawk?
Some kind of water bird. It looks like he's picked up a fish there, maybe. On the back sides, there are other creatures as well. So I think there's like a stork on one of them, and I don't remember what's on the back of the other one.
And then we also got some more cards.
Yeah, a bunch of new cards. So these right here facilitate play for 5 or 6 players. Yeah. These you can add even
some more
with
lesson cards.
Yeah, you can add these new lesson cards even with
these are like
players.
end of game scoring cards.
Yeah.
That's what they really are.
So
we got some more.
Yeah, they gave us some. These are from the base game. These are from the new expansion. So it's just a few more to add. Plus, there's a special kitty here. Which is going to count as the player pawn. Yeah, it's going to count as the player pawn for the 6th player if you're playing with 6 players.
Yeah. All right, so let's get started. What's going on, everybody? Sarah just wiped the floor with me in Isle of Cats, and it was a 9-point lead she had after all was said and done. And man, I love this game. It's a great game. And even if I lost, it was just awesome. So let's take like a little look at the board and see what we got going on here. It's a very beautiful game. We got the Kickstarter, so we got some nice extra stuff. Nice extra cats. And then the mayhem, where it all started and it all ended and finished. I'm a loser. But let's go take a look at, yeah, there we go. So this is our scoring. And yeah, I thought I was doing some pretty good until we got to lessons, and I just got stomped in lessons. And I thought I got her with rooms because she got -20, but I only had -15, so it was only a 5-point difference. Yeah, it was rough, but very beautiful game. Love it. Love the creators. It's something we just and we also just played with some of the cards that came from the expansion, and yeah, it's really cool. It's very it changed things up. Not as much as I thought it would. Just some of the cards you get at the end, the end of game scoring cards, the lessons have really changed it up. So yeah, great game. Love it. Gotta play some more before I have to go back to work. Just gotta get it in. Hope you guys are getting some games in too. So checking in with you guys later. All right, bye. So we've had our first victor in our first game. We have decided to go ahead and play another game of the Isle of Cats.
Yeah. I like this one a lot.
Yeah.
We switched out some of the lesson modules this time. That's the first time we've ever done that. We've probably played, like half a dozen games?
Yeah.
And we've been playing with only the recommended starter setup. I think it's like the A, B, C lesson modules. So this time we switched it out with some of the new modules, right? For the new expansion.
Yeah, we switched out 2 modules for 2 modules.
Yeah.
2 for 2.
Yeah, so we still have one. I think C is the module we kept in there. And then we switched out for 2 of the new modules from the Late Arrivals expansion. And we tried that. I won by 9 points.
Yes.
So we're going to have a rematch. See what happens.
Indeed. Oh, it's a kitty pile. These are the cats that we will not use. Oh my goodness. So then we're not going to use a bunch of those cards.
This was all the cards we used in the first game. Those are all the cats we used, cats and treasure that we used in the first game. The rare treasures.
Starting fresh.
So we're just gonna we're not gonna shuffle all this back in. We're just gonna. There's a huge deck here. Like you can see, we didn't even use that many in the first game. So we're just gonna use what we haven't used yet, and the cats included in that as well. And we'll see what happens.
Yep. All right, let's get to it. So, how'd you do in your game?
So I got 103 points.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah,
it's great.
Yeah.
91! Oh, the humanity.
Do you want to see my boat? It's really pretty.
Yes, let's see your boat. It is very pretty.
Isn't it nice? It's all colorful.
Nice.
There's tons of treasure on there, and there's some kitties.
A lot of kitties.
Yeah.
My boat was pretty stellar as well. Just, I don't know. Let's I did some things. Had some cats. But apparently I just couldn't cut it. I couldn't save all the cats and get all the points, so well, this is 0-2 for my Isle of Cats games.
For today.
Yeah, for today. But the victor, ladies and gentlemen. Sarah got them cats on lock. Is that how the kids say it, right?
I don't know how the kids say it.
They get it locked down?
I do not presume to know how the children say anything.
We did our second game, so we just didn't even shuffle in other cards, and we just went through our stack. And didn't even put the cats back in, so we got a giant pile of cats from our previous game and cats that we didn't pick up.
Yeah, it's nice. I feel like we got to see a lot of content from the game because we didn't shuffle back in the cards or the cats from the first game, and there was still enough of each to play through without disrupting the game at all. I know some people would be like, well, you're you mess up the numbers, if 4 green cats came out in the first game and only 3 purple cats came out in the first game, you mess up the numbers, but we don't care.
Yeah, but we mentioned something during our gameplay that we talked about fiddliness, and that how it's interesting because that's a con. So fiddliness is a con because we're always going back and forth, putting resources. We're always getting 20 fish, and we're always just back and forth the fish, and we're always flipping our baskets over. But we kind of forgive that in this game because we like it so much.
Yeah. I think the game, I've actually been thinking about this the last several times we played. I've kind of been thinking about this in the back of my mind while we played. I think this is probably one of the more fiddly games that I enjoy. And it like none of it is really that big of a deal, right? But I'm one of those like sort of OCD players where like everything has to be like straight. And with the polynomino pieces, if you bump anything, then you have to like write your entire ship again. And like there is a lot of back and forth with like flipping over the baskets repeatedly or getting the fish at the beginning of every round and then putting them back when you pay for stuff. And I think part of that is just accentuated because it's 2 players and we go pretty quickly. So it's just like repetitious over and over and over again. Just get fish, put fish back, flip the baskets back over. So I think like it's, I think it's a little fiddly, and normally that would really detract from an experience for me. But in this game, I like the puzzle, and I like the presentation, and I like I like sitting down and playing this game so much that I forgive the fiddliness without any issues.
Yeah, the polyomino aspect of this game is just, it's so enjoyable just for how we like to play our games. And it's just something that I like a lot. When you give me something and it's like, okay, you got to start from the beginning and you have to figure it out and try to score the best or win or what have you, whatever the victory condition is, whether it's a co-op game or a competitive game. But yeah, it's kind of, definitely enjoy this one a lot.
Me too.
Yeah. Well, we'll see you guys next time and talk to you later.